Are the new episodes of Odyssey better than the old ones? Is the show itself better than it used to be? It's complicated. I've been around the online Odyssey fan community for a long time now, and one of the things I hear quite a bit is that Odyssey is just not as good as it used to be. Because of this notion, many people don't listen to the newer episodes. Which is a shame because there's a lot of great stories that they're missing out on. If you're one of those fans that doesn't think Odyssey is as good as it used to be, keep watching. And if you're not, please keep watching anyway. I need the views. So let's look at some arguments that people use, and I'll tell you what I think of them. Argument number 1. The show isn't like it used to be. That is 100% correct. People need to remember that Odyssey has been changing since the very beginning. It was named Family Portraits first, then Odyssey USA, and then Adventures in Odyssey. As technology has improved, so has the sound quality for the show. Remember, the early episodes were made on reel-to-reel tapes, and there was a limited amount of things that it could do with that. With computers, the sky's the limit sound-wise. Let's see, we've had 3 actors for Wit so far, 5 different versions of the theme song, not including the video and holiday versions. We used to listen to the shows all on tapes, then CDs, and now MP3s. So yeah, a lot of things have changed. If AIO didn't change, it wouldn't have lasted as long as it has. Next is argument number 2. The new characters aren't as good as the old characters. Along with that argument, there's always new characters showing up. That first statement is an opinion, and that second statement is a fact. Ever since the creation of the series, new characters have appeared and old ones have left. You may forget that in the beginning of the show, characters were constantly being introduced. Kid actors like David Griffin and Sage Bolte played a variety of characters until they were given just one character to play. As we all know, kid characters are never in a whole lot of episodes before they have to leave because the actors' voices start to sound older. Of course, there are a few exceptions, like Jimmy Barkley and Lucy Cunningham Schultz Davis. Some characters stay around for years, and some leave after just a few episodes. That's how it's always been. Remember when Hal Smith died and the character of Wit left Odyssey? Out of that situation, we got the characters of Jack Allen and Jason Whittaker, who are beloved characters now. The show was fine without Wit for a while, and Eugene went missing for a while too. When AIO returned from its first hiatus, many of the old families and kid characters were gone. The same thing happened after the second hiatus. Like the writers have said, Adventures in Odyssey is bigger than just any one character. Wit has always been the central character in Odyssey, but there are many other characters who live in the town of Odyssey. We just haven't been introduced to them all yet. And I doubt we ever will. Argument number 3. The stories aren't as good as the old ones. This statement is wrong in many ways in my opinion. Since the beginning, there have always been great episodes, average episodes, and poor episodes. People seem to forget that even though we got some great episodes early on, like Connie and The Case of the Secret Room, there was also some duds like The Day After Christmas. Fast forward some years and you'll find the Split episodes. Those were certainly not AIO's best episodes, but from that era, we got one of the most popular story arcs ever, Novacom. Not every episode is going to be great, but the team at Adventures in Odyssey has a track record for making more good and great episodes than they do bad ones. That's one of the many reasons that we love this series. When AIO returned from its second hiatus, many of the episodes from Album 51, Take It From the Top, were criticized as being dumbed down and fluff in terms of story and lessons. However, a majority of people believe that the 3-part episode, The Jubilee Singers, was the best of that bunch, and quite possibly a new classic for Odyssey. The Green Ring Conspiracy saga was introduced not long after that. Although not always as highly praised as the Novacom saga, it did bring back some old fans to hear what all the fuss was about. Episodes like Sergeant York and Follow Me showed that the team is still able to find new material and create engaging stories that rival the early ones. Since the mid-2000s, the writers have focused on more complex storylines. They might all be in one album like the Green Ring Conspiracy, or scattered throughout several seasons like the problems of Andy Strasberg's family and Wooten and Penny's relationship. Stories like these being spread out through multiple episodes help make characters grow and help them find new purpose on the show. And lastly, argument 4, the lessons in today's episodes are watered down. Absolutely wrong. If anything, they've gotten better in recent years. There was a rocky start with Album 51, but the lessons and topics that AIO has covered since then are really great. Of course, not every episode of Odyssey has dealt with deep messages, but there's certainly a lot more now than in the early days of Odyssey. One of the biggest examples of this is Album 58, The Ties That Bind. That 14-part story arc covered things like gender, family, and marriage in a way that's never been discussed before on Odyssey. The Cure, a 3-part episode in the Adventures in Odyssey Club, tackled the issue of depression. One More Name, another great 3-parter, talked about the sanctity of every human life and the effects of the Holocaust. Of course, everyone has their own opinion, and they're entitled to it. However, opinions aren't always based on facts. So if you don't take the time to listen to more than just a few episodes from recent years, and remember Odyssey's history, then the opinion that Odyssey is not good anymore or as good as it used to be, it's simply that, an opinion. Nostalgia can and will impact our thinking. All I'm saying is, give the new episodes a chance. Try listening to it in the same mindset that you did when you were growing up with it, or when you first heard Odyssey. Remember, you won't be able to fully enjoy what AIO has to offer now if you constantly compare it to the past. Just enjoy the show for what it still is, and for what it teaches. And that's a wrap. Thanks so much for watching. A lot of the stuff I talked about today is in an article that I wrote for the Odyssey Scoop website called A Case for Modern AIO. In it, I go a lot more in depth in my persuasions. If you'd like to read it, you can find a link to it in the description. Also, please post a comment with your thoughts on this issue. I would really enjoy hearing what you have to say. Don't forget to follow Odyssey Geek on Facebook, Twitter, Google+, and Instagram. And subscribe to this channel so you'll be one of the first to know when new videos come out. Farewell.